Hi there, welcome to our video seminar on divination, intuition, and synchronicity. My name is Henry Reed and I'll be your guide here for these learning adventures. In our first video seminar, we learned about divine mind, how divination is a process of looking into divine mind. We use our intuition to try to make an attunement and see into what is divine mind perceiving, what does it understand of the moment, what is in the divine plan or divine harmony. In this video seminar, we're going to be learning about the divination process itself, what I call the divine play. It's like a game. You'll see how a divination process is like using a game board to perceive into the larger world. Very often, cultures have used games to have religious significance, as if there was a cosmic play. And that's what we're going to be learning about in this video seminar. And the purpose of it is to help to free you to use your creativity in how you use your own divination system. For example, if you're going to be using the tarot cards, what we're going to learn on this seminar, I think will help you to learn how to use those cards in a much freer and more creative way. And what I'm hoping that you'll gain from this video seminar is to be able to see the forces at work in a divination game. We call it a game because the cosmic forces are at play. And the divination system, whether it's the tarot deck or some other method, allows us to see through the play of the divine game what might be going on in life itself. And if you understand some of the general principles that are happening as you give a reading, perhaps that will free you up to be more creative, to feel more spontaneous, and maybe even to invent your own divination game. That would be really neat. I've taught many live classes on divination, and we'll be seeing some excerpts from these classes on this videotape. You'll get to see the students working with some of the divination games that we've developed in order to teach some of these principles that are involved. In fact, we're going to look in on a class right now and see the explanation of what all divination games have in common. You'll be able to see some of the universal dimensions of any divination system, and hopefully you'll come to recognize these dimensions in the system that you use. Let's take a look now. Now what we're going to be exploring is the form of the divination tool itself. I want you to come to be able to appreciate some common elements that are going on in all of the different manifestations of divination. We, as a human beings, invented divination as a projection of our understanding about the world, and we express that understanding in many different forms depending upon our locality, the culture, and so on. And I want us to be able to see the universals behind the different individual forms. So first of all, we draw this circle, say, and this is the world. This is also us. We are the world. That's the basic assumption. I am that, as above, so below. So the world out there and the me in here are as one. So in divination, you're going to find basically three dimensions, or three aspects, or three levels to this world. One has to do with what we might say is dividing up the world into arenas, or into places. For example, we might divide up the world like that and say this is inside, and this is outside. Okay, that would be one way of dividing up the world. We might say, well, that doesn't really express how we see things. Let's divide up the world like this. There's the upper world and the lower world. Okay, so those would be the two arenas the two areas in life that we recognize. What might be another way that we could divide up the world? Let's think of some others. We could say, okay, here is the world inside my cave. Here is the world out with my, this is in my cave, in my community, out there, and this is the heavens, the spirit world. So there's these three different areas of my life that I can be in. Let's take astrology, for example. Astrology divides up the world. In astrology, we have this circle to represent the world, and they divide up the world into what's called houses, 12 houses. And each house represents a different area of life. This first house is yourself. Say, the second house is money and resources. The third house is communications, and so on and so on and so on. That they say we can divide up the world into 12 areas. All right? Let's take another dividing. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's turn that off for a minute. Another way, say, we could divide up the world. Let's draw the world like a big house. Okay? Here's the attic. Here's the front porch. Here's the bedroom. Here's the dining room. Here's the kitchen. Here's the family room. Here's the basement. Here's the children's playroom and the parents' room. So just another way. And each of these different approaches to dividing up of the world would be an expression of perhaps our interests, our culture, how we come to see really what are the important areas. And they often have metaphorical or symbolic significance as well. For example, let's take the house. And we divide up the house into the various areas. What might the front porch represent? The front porch part of our life. Our social relations, the appearances we put on to people. What would the, say, the bedroom area represent? Our unconscious, where we sleep, the part of us that's in the dark, or the resting part, the rejuvenation part, down in the basement, the discard area, or the utilities, our organs, the instincts part of ourself. Up here in the attic could be our memories, the place where we store things that we don't need anymore but that are valuable to us. The children's play area could be our fantasy land where imagination reigns. You could make up interpretations for any of those. What we're doing is we're saying, this is life, this is the world, this is me, and I'm dividing the stage into different areas where things happen. Okay? So that's the first part. So we have an arena, a stage where things happen.